McNichols Sports Arena in Denver, Colorado, where Team USA is wrapping up its pre-Olympic schedule. This is game number 60. The team will depart for Calgary on Wednesday morning and work out in Calgary Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and then open their Olympic schedule on Saturday night at the Saddledome against Austria. And so for more of an update as to what's been shaken with the team and how it looks, the general manager of Team USA, Art Berglund, is our guest. And let's go to Mike Eruzione.
Well, thank you very much, Al. You know, we've been able to talk throughout the course of the year with Dave Peterson, with Bob Johnson, the executive director of the Amateur Hockey Association. Now we're going to have a chance to talk with Art Berglund, the general manager of this year's Olympic hockey team. Art, this is it. Tour's over. 2 more periods. How's it going?
Well, Mike, it's been a long year, but a fun year, and we've had a great tour. This is day 186, and 206, the torch will be out. But we've been from Maine to San Diego, from Tacoma, Washington, to Providence, Rhode Island, to War Road, Minnesota, Minneapolis, and here we're in Denver today, and it's been a great tour, and we think we've done a great job of exposing USA hockey, and I know a lot of our players have had a great experience of their life, and we're just delighted to finish it up here in Denver in this time zone and be heading up to Calgary here.
Art, you know, I know you've been involved with so many other Olympic teams and so many different programs, national teams. How has it changed over the years with Team USA? I mean, this tour is something that's kind of started in '80, but I remember in '76 they didn't have this type of an opportunity.
Well, we had a similar tour in '76, Mike, but I think the key thing is the Olympic training centers in Colorado Springs. You were a part of those sports festivals, and the fact that we started in North Carolina, starting to identify our top 80 prospects, and now under the Amateur Hockey Association with President Waller Bush and Executive Director Bob Johnson, we've got these ongoing programs. We had our midget team in Quebec. We had a junior team in Moscow at Christmas, and we've got an ongoing program now. And we think with this type of tour that the young players of America are emulating and want to wear the USA jersey and repeat the experiences that you had and that these players have had.
You know, as I said, it's been a long year. We open up next Saturday in Calgary against Austria. What do you expect from this hockey team?
Well, you know, Mike, we're not trying to repeat your gold medal performance in '80, and we're not trying to make amends from the '84 team. We're trying to be our own hockey team and go up there and put on a good show. We know we can skate with any team. We know Dave Peterson, Ben Smith, Jack Bladwick have got these players prepared to play in the games. We've been shooting for it. It's an American dream, and you know, we can have cynics and critics, but hey, our players got dreams, I got dreams, and certainly we're going to do the best job we possibly can.
All right, I wish you all the best. Again, we're here at McNichols Arena after 1 period of play. Team USA trailing Team Sweden by a score of 1-0.
Dodge Dakota 4x4. When you consider that it comes loaded with the best truck warranty on or off the road, more available payload than any competitive compact 4x4 in the country, and a fuel-injected V6 engine S10 and Ranger charge extra for, it's easy to see. Only one size 4x4 has it all. It's gotta be the mid-size Dodge Dakota.
Save up to $2,400 with cash back and prospector package discounts on selected trucks in stock.
Fancy perfumey aftershave. Gotta be a quarterback's locker.
Real guys who aren't afraid to get mud on their uniforms use rugged, honest stuff. Ice Blue Aqua Velva. Its icy blue formula makes your face feel great after shaving, and Aqua Velva's got a scent that
A lot of fans find attractive.
Very attractive. There's something about today's Aqua Velva man.
So you still think linemen are dumb?
The man, Charles Bronson. The weapons, .475 custom Magnum, 30 caliber Browning machine gun, and for those real tough guys, a rocket launcher.
We should get a few of them.
The mission, to stop the punks. The odds, one man against an army of creeps. Whose side are you gonna bet on? Charles Bronson, Death Wish 3.
At 8 o'clock on Channel 5's Prime Movie Wednesday. The White House is our beat. The city is our beat. Business is our beat. Virginia is our beat. Maryland is our beat. Action is our beat. The street is our beat. The 10 o'clock news. We don't miss a beat.
You know, early in the year, we had a chance to show you the video that Team USA made. We always talk about the Chicago Bears and their video. Well, this hockey team made a video, and it's called This Time for Sure. If you missed it before, I'm sure you'll enjoy it this time.
And I don't want you to be afraid of going to shoot. Too easy left, get all the puck into the
Hold to the right, line with revenue. Wait for the team with a walk in the blue. Hard working sweat, practice six legs, playing for the top, and the world is their stage. Team against team, man against man. Team USA, make it my stand. Let's go through the air, countdown this way. Go through the rock for the Team USA. We're on our way. It's time to go. Team USA. Ooh, we're here to stay. It's time to go. Team USA. We'll climb mountains together. Nothing can stand in our way. The dream is closer than ever. Team USA, we're gonna reach for a sure thing. All our dreams come true. We're gonna reach for a sure thing. Team USA, we're climbing mountains together. You work and you sweat and you play. We gotta reach for a sure thing. All our dreams come true. We gotta reach for a sure thing. Team USA, we're gonna reach for a sure thing. Team USA, we gotta reach for a sure thing. Team USA. Team USA. Team USA.
There are a million trucks like the one you bought.
Hey, nice truck.
It's okay. The trick is to make this one yours. And the place to make it happen is the Kmart Truck Center, where you'll find everything from toolboxes to running boards to seat covers at great Kmart prices. Kmart, for people who take trucks very personally.
Nice truck. Yours?
It is now.
Kmart, America's favorite store. Get a fully automatic 35mm Kodak camera, free, when you buy 10 rolls or more of Owens Corning's pink fiberglass insulation.
Fancy perfuming aftershave. It's got to be a quarterback's locker.
Real guys who get mud on their uniforms use rugged, honest stuff. Ice blue aqua velva.
There's something about today's aqua velva man.
So you still think linemen are dumb?
Introducing Popeat, the amazing new food storage system with an incredible accordion construction that actually expands and collapses. You create the size you need. Collapse the container to fit the food to save the space. Only one glass left? Put it in Popeat and look at the difference. Do your cabinets look like this? With Popeat, you'll save so much space it's like having an extra cabinet in your kitchen. Complete with airtight lids to keep food its absolute freshest, they're dishwasher safe and microwave safe. You'll get 3 quart-size Popete, 3 quart-and-a-half size pieces, 3 half-gallon pieces, and the giant half-gallon bottle that collapses this small for easy travel. Now only $19.95. 9 containers, the bottle, lids, 20 pieces in all. Here's how to order.
Credit card users call toll-free 1-800-445-4000. That's 1-800-445-4000. Or send just $19.95 plus $3 shipping to Popete, Box 500, Verona, New Jersey, 07044. Or call 1-800-445-4000.
Back here to Denver, Colorado, McNichols Arena, where after one period of play, Team Sweden leading Team USA by a score of 1-0. Hello, everyone. I'm Mike Ruzioni, along with my good friend John Davidson. And John, it was an interesting first period. Sweden really kind of taking control early in the period, but U.S. came back a little more at the end.
You have to remember this American club have to release 2 players before the Olympics, and it will be 2 of the players I would think that maybe in the lineup tonight, who knows. But that has to put a little added pressure on these people going into the game, and I think once they got hitting a little bit around the midpoint, they started to carry the play somewhat, and both goaltenders were very good. I thought that was a fabulous period.
Well, I'll tell you, it's interesting because this is the last game for these players, and they are a little nervous. Nobody wants to get hurt, and Sweden was the first team to draw first blood.
It was an interesting play. It's a long shot, and Mike Richter hadn't had any work. And we'll watch number 5, the defenseman Weinrich. And what he wants to do here is make sure he gets himself out of the way so Richter has clear vision, a good alley to watch that puck. But watch the puck just ricochet off the heel of the stick, and that's enough to change direction, and that beat Richter. Now, that was a goal by Elderbrink, and he has a rocket for a shot. He's a veteran player, 28 years of age, and you could see it during that play. He had a big shot.
Well, after that, Sweden had 3 real good scoring opportunities, and Mike Richter came up with some real big saves, and then kind of momentum turned a little. The U.S., as you said, maybe got the butterflies out of their stomachs a little, got rid of the anxious moments, and came on and had a few good chances against Sweden. Lindmark, as you mentioned, made some fine glove saves.
He made saves all over the place. He's a smart goaltender. He handles the puck well. He reads plays well. When we see this first shot, it's going to be set up here. Watch Stevens get hit into the boards here. Stevens for the American team. Boom! He gets hit to set up a pass. It's a 2-on-1, and perhaps the U.S. club getting a little fancy here. The defenseman blocks the shot, and you'll see now a defenseman carry the puck out of the zone. Rundqvist, you'll see him take right out of the zone himself, and he'll make a play in the neutral zone. And watch Brian Leach, Mr. All-World as far as hockey goes. Watch his smarts. There's the pass. Who's there? Brian Leach. That sets up another scoring chance for Team USA. Look at the puck. It won't lay down for them. That ice surface was not that terrific during the period. Again, you have to give the Swedes credit. There was offensive rushes by the American club, and the Swedish club, they're strong in goal, very strong on defense, and their defensemen broke up both those plays.
Well, again, that's what we talked about early in the game. When we talked to the Team Sweden coach today, he said one thing he does have is 6 good defensemen. They're not a real good offensive team. They have to play tight defensive hockey, even though that other game was 9-7. Hey, that's one period of hockey. Al, there's another one coming up. Let's go back to you.
Okay, Mike, and it's quite in contrast to the way these two teams performed the other night in Colorado Springs when it was a shootout and the United States won it by a score of 9-7. The U.S. has been involved in a lot of high-scoring games of late. The defense has been of some concern to Dave Peterson, but the defense looked pretty sharp here in the first period. The only goal coming, of course, early on when Sweden made it 1-0, 2.5 minutes into the first period. So let's take a look now at the CB Sports scoring summary. And it's quite brief with Elderbrink, 231. Sandstrom and Hjelm getting credit for the assists. Shots on goal, Sweden with a total of 10. So Richter had 9 saves. And the United States with 9 shots on goal, 8 of those 9 coming after the midway mark in the first period, because we pointed out at about the 10-minute juncture of the first period that the United States had only 1 shot on goal, and in fact in their only power play opportunity in the first period, the United States did not have a shot on goal, and then 9 over the last 10 minutes of the first period. So at the end of the first period of play here at McNichols Sports Arena in Denver, it is Sweden 1, Team USA nothing. And tonight's game is being brought to you by Kmart, America's favorite store and proud sponsor of the 1988 USA hockey team. And by Ice Blue Aqua Velva. It's cool and refreshing formula makes your face feel great after shaving. And the rugged honest scent says there's something about today's Aqua Velva man. So the second period is coming up at McNichols Sports Arena in Denver with the score 1-0. Sweden. At the Olympics now, which begins Saturday, there's the A pool. It is designated the A pool because it features the world champion Swedish team. So they are, in effect, seeded number 1. Thus, this becomes the A pool. Canada, Poland, Switzerland, Finland, France, and Sweden are the 6 teams. Of those 6, 3 will advance to the medal round. The B pool features the United States, Austria, Czechoslovakia, the USSR, Norway, and West Germany. And in fact, as you look at that graphic, the United States will meet those teams in that order, including Austria on Saturday night in the opening game of Olympic competition for Team USA. There is the entire schedule. Saturday, Austria. Then Monday night, the United States takes on Czechoslovakia. A week from Wednesday night, February the 17th, the U.S. team will be taking on the Soviets. That's in contrast now to Lake Placid when they met in the medal round. February 19th, Norway. February 21st, West Germany. And you know, John, as you look at that schedule, if everything goes according to Hoyle, the U.S. would beat Austria, they would lose to Czechoslovakia and the Soviets. They'd beat Norway, and then perhaps that game against West Germany, the final game of that preliminary round, could determine the 3rd team to advance to the medal round.
Absolutely, that will mean a lot. I think, without question, the Soviets have to be the #1 club actually going into this Olympic series in Calgary. The Czechs will be tough, the Americans will be tough, and West Germany will be a huge game for them without question.
Mike, what do you think?
Well, Al, you know, it's interesting. I agree with everything you said and always thought that was the case. But talking to Ben Smith before the game, the assistant coach for Team USA, and they're going to be a little concerned about Norway. They've got very good reports from Alaska, of all places, that Norway has a very, very good hockey team. And remember, in '84, Norway tied Team USA, the Olympic team, in the game. So, you know, you can talk about West Germany and the Czechs and the Russians, but watch out for Norway, maybe.
In 1980, if I'm not mistaken, Norway led the U.S. 1-0 at the end of the first period.
Exactly. And then Herb came in and kind of told us some things and changed our attitude a little.
Can you repeat them?
Later on, I will.
Okay. After midnight?
Well, you get a good look there at Ben Smith, who was an assistant coach at Boston University, a school that I went to, and out of Yale University. Nice guy, local guy out of Boston. Every time we get a chance to talk, we talk about the Red Sox and Gloucester High School, where Ben is from. So he had some interesting thoughts on the schedule.
It's interesting how Norway and Austria are training up in Alaska. And for Norway, that must be almost like the homeland. The Americans training here in Colorado Springs, and in Denver for the altitude reasoning. Calgary is at 3,000 feet above sea level. Here, of course, Denver, the mile-high city, they will be dropping in altitude when they get to Calgary.
The West Germans are already in Calgary. In fact, I was watching them work out Saturday at the Saddle Dome.
Isn't that a beautiful facility?
Yeah, terrific. That's where most of the Olympic hockey will be played. So here we go. In the second period now, 1-0. Sweden on top. Laviolette scrapping for it, and the loose puck dug out by Weinrich, kept in by Sweden. This is Anderson behind the net. Bergqvist now circles back, tries to center it, and can't. It's broken up by Janney, who gets it up ahead for Kevin Miller, and he has it taken away by Samuelsson, the longtime Swedish veteran. Some of these Swedes played on the 1980 Olympic team, and others on the '84 squad, and a tremendous amount of international experience, almost top to bottom on the roster of Team Sweden. Slap shot, and the first save of the second period to Richter. Sweden keeping it in, bouncing puck is swept aside by Weinrich. Johansson, and then off the skate finally of Tom Eklund, back down and pushed back out to center ice by Lindmark. Nicely up ahead, and the shot is deflected by Gosselin. American team can't clear the zone. Eklund gets it over to whose shot is deflected wide.
That last 3-on-2 for Sweden was because the goaltender moved it up the ice quickly, and the Americans were making a line change.
Office Moorings, and we have a stoppage of play with 1:40 having elapsed here in the second period. Still 1-0. Sweet.
Dodge Shadow ES. When you look at its 60 standard features, its turbocharged engine, its 770 protection plan, when you consider the fact that the Shadow ES is a better value, almost $700 less than the Chevy Cavalier C24, you'll agree, when it comes to outstanding value, it's gotta be a Dodge. The Dodge Shadow ES. Gotta be a Dodge.
Here we see the goaltender get the puck. Now the defensemen for Team USA are changing quickly. Leach is rushing to get back into the play, and that sets up. There's two blue getting back into the play, and that sets up a scoring chance for Sweden. Look at Jones to the outside. The Michigan graduate moves in on the goaltender, and he was banged by Shielstrom into that goal. Jones played for 4 years at Michigan under Red Berenson.
Shot by Brown was wide. Norton able to keep it in for the moment. Bourbeau can't wrest possession of the puck, however, and the Swedes will be able to clear it out. And the shot comes in right on Richter for the easy save. Brown up along the boards, too far for Jones, but it's left there for Bourbeau, and then Jones is in offside, and we'll have a face-off.
Second period starts with some real good pace to it again as you look at Scott Young. As I mentioned in the first period, and talking to the Hartford people where he was drafted to, they want him to play forward when he does get there. He's been used on the point on the power play here in this game. Remember 1980, Al, Herb Brooks used Dave Christian on the point on the power play. In 84, Lou Vero used Bobby Brook on the point on the power play.
Bouncing puck and a save by Richter. Back out to center ice. Eldebrinck, who has scored the game's only goal, to the circling Ulf Sandstrom. The youngster shoots it in around the boards where Richter leaves it for Laviolette. He can't clear it. Comes out to Samuelson at the point. And deflected there and taken away by Stevens. Up ahead to Leach, and his pass for Fusco is deflected and taken away by Samuelson. Who gets checked into the boards by McDonald. Shot goes in. Number 14, Mikael Hjelm scoring.
Hjelm scores the goal. Twice he has said no to the Philadelphia Flyers. He stayed in Sweden, and we'll watch the USA club get control of the puck, and then it's given away right there by Weinrich. And that turnover creates a goal. He goes down desperately trying to block that shot by Hjelm, and that perhaps screens the goaltender. It beats Richter to the stick side. Weinrich tried his best to get back into the play, but couldn't do so.
Coming at 2:45 of the second period. Hjelm scoring for Sweden. They lead 2-0. Gosselin able to check Eriksson. Kept in, though, and deflected high off the stick of Rundqvist. U.S. with another defensive lapse, and the Swedes are offside.
That time it was a giveaway by Brian Leach, and the goaltender Richter extended his stick and made a nice save. There's Thomas Rundqvist, an excellent penalty killer. He played 2 games for the Montreal Canadiens a couple of seasons ago. Then he was sent down to the minor leagues. And you know, he's actually blind in one eye. He had a vision problem, an illness, when he was a younger player. And he wears that shield. And it's really astonishing to see him play center ice and have a problem really seeing and moving the puck.
And because of that, he would be ineligible to play in the National Hockey League.
Right, exactly. Mike, what's the condition of the ice surface? So the pucks look like they're bouncing all over the place.
I'll tell you, John, I'm down here at ice level right behind Lindmark, and it is pretty bad. And, you know, it's difficult here because the ice is in for the first time, and the players aren't too pleased with it. But I think it would affect Sweden more than the United States because Sweden likes to pass the puck a lot, and they really strive on their passing abilities, but it is pretty bad.
It's 2-0, and the shot by Brown is blocked in front. And then as it's backhanded in, it's taken away by the Swedes, and a good pass up ahead to Bergqvist. Over to Rundqvist. He couldn't get Wood on it. And then and it's loose in front, and the shot comes in off Bergqvist's stick, saved by Richter, and Johansson able to clear it for USA. Stevens then loses the puck, and it's taken again by Johansson at center ice.
And looking at that giveaway by Weinrich for that last goal, I would think that the puck was bouncing there, and he had some problems controlling it because of the ice surface.
Richter then backhands it up over the glass and into the seats with 15:52 to play in the period.
There's an interesting story in Peter Laviolette, who you are looking at. He played for 4 years at Westfield State, a Division III college. And if you can imagine how much he has improved to be able to play on this team, it's quite a story. Some say the Walter Mitty story of the entire club.
Tied for the team lead, as you see, in penalty minutes with 82. He is tied with Guy Gosselin at that figure. Bourbeau chasing it along with Shielstrom. And the two spin around. Loose puck. Save by Lindmark. And all the way down the ice it comes. Laviolette with the touch and the icing call, and we'll return to Denver right after this message.
Brick and concrete, sewers and digging, roofing and guttering. Johnny, be quick. Window replacement, electrical wiring, carpentry, paneling. Johnny, be quick. Bathrooms and kitchens, painting and papering, tile and carpeting. Johnny, be quick. Hot water heaters, air conditioning and heating, sewer and drain cleaning. Johnny, be quick. And, of course, all kinds of plumbing. Call Johnny, be quick. 277-6969. 277-6969.
Denver, Colorado, where the United States team, the team that will represent the U.S. Saturday in Calgary, wraps up its pre-Olympic schedule. Sweden on top by a score of 2-0. Team skating in equal strength. 15 minutes, 24 seconds remaining in the second period. Brian Leach had it momentarily, taken away by Ildebrink. Steve Leach fires it in around the boards. And Ildebrink behind his own net for Team Sweden. Up ahead to Jens Erling. He leaves it on a drop pass, and the slapper goes wide. Comes back out to the point, and the American's able to clear. This is Steve Leach chasing it, but all the way out of the net, as he's prone to do, comes Lindmark to help start the attack going the other way. Erling over to Samuelsson, and he drops it into the corner, and the Swedes change on the fly. Norton starts back the other way. Still has possession of the puck. To Fusco, he loses it. Snuggerud scraps for it. Up to Norton, he has it taken away. In comes Eriksson, he loses the puck. A penalty is coming up. Richter is out of the net. Sandstrom couldn't control it as he darted in behind the net, and we've got a penalty coming up on Team USA. So the Swedes will have a power play with 14:18 to play in the second period.
Well, you know the bad news.
Charlie Carlson is in the meeting of his life, and his shirt is perfectly dry. But that doesn't mean he smells good. Because Under Armour odor isn't visible, he needs total protection. Sure Solid.
If everyone would take a...
Sure not only helps protect against wetness, it actually kills bacteria that cause odor. So, Charlie, why go to work with a dry shirt and a false sense of security? Use Sure Solid and be just as sure about odor as you are about wetness.
We'll see here as the Swedish player makes a quick cut. Norton hooks the elbow and knocks him down. And it's a power play for Team Sweden. Jeff Norton, 2 minutes for hooking. And that was Lars Molin, former Vancouver Canuck, that made that offensive play to draw the penalty.
And Sweden now with its second power play opportunity. Each team had one in the first period, and neither was successful. Sweden on top 2-0. Slapped in, stick save by Richter. Cleared out.
And that was Lars Molin standing right in front of Richter and trying to screen the USA goaltender. This Swedish power play, they like to jam the front of the net and feed their defenseman for the point shot.
Now Molin, and the shot goes wide off the stick of Sandstrom. Anderson has to regroup at center ice.
Watch this 15 yellow play. Sandstrom, Wolf Sandstrom, his rights are owned by Chicago. And Bob Pulford's their GM. He's here in the audience tonight, and he has to be drooling with what he's seen in this game to this point.
Just 20 years old. Moline to Samuelson. From the point, in around the boards to Moline. He's checked by Weinrich, and Weinrich is able to clear it with 1:03 now remaining in the power play. And a penalty coming up. A collision out in front of the Swedish bench, and a penalty coming up.
It will be Sandstrom who tripped Johansson as both teams were making a change. The penalty killers for Team USA, who have been excellent over this Swedish power play of 1 minute to this point, had gone to their bench to make a change. Sandstrom was going to his bench to make a change. He reached out with a stick and simply upended Johansson. So the teams will be at even strength for 1 minute, and then a power play for Team USA.
Exactly 60 seconds remaining in the penalty to Norton as Sandstrom now goes into the box for Sweden. 13:17 remaining in the second period. And under international rules, each team skates a man short, 4-on-4.
That's right, Al. When both teams are given minors at the same time in the National Hockey League, they still play with 6 players aside on the ice. Here, under international rules, if they're both given minors at the same time, they will both play short a man. Which I kind of enjoy. It opens up the ice surface and absolutely certainly makes for pretty passing and for some great skating. Remember, the Olympics will be played on an ice surface that will be 15 feet wider than what we have here in Denver. And that makes for some exciting hockey.
Oddly, the United States has played most of its games on the smaller sheets of ice because most of the rinks in North America are the smaller sheets, the smaller size. Mike, what's shaking?
Well, I got a question for JD. John, I'm watching Lindmark in goal, and as you mentioned earlier, he likes to sit back, but he also seems to play in the middle of the net a lot. That to me seems kind of different. Is that a European style of play?
He's very experienced. One thing I've been impressed is how well he has stood up, Mike. He stands up almost erect, very little bend in his knees, and you're right, he plays the angles well, but he plays deep. When you play deep, you have to make sure you stay in the middle.
Teams at equal strength, skating 4-on-4. Lindmark leaves it behind the net. Now up ahead to Bergqvist. He starts back the other way. Bergqvist fakes the shot as he comes in over the blue line. Then his shot and a save. Gosselin tries to kick it away, gets it up ahead to Snuggerud. He's pressured. Now Brown controls it. Pass for Leach. Too long, offside. And we'll have a face-off in the neutral zone.
One thing about Lindmark, with his experience of being 31 years of age, and you can see how many Canada Cups he's played in right there, he's very loose. He has a very solid sense of humor. And when you're a goaltender and you have that good sense of humor, when it comes times when pressure begins to build, it certainly helps to be a relaxed person.
12 seconds now remaining in the penalty to Norton. When he comes out of the box, the U.S. will have a power play advantage for exactly 1 minute. Time left in the period is 12:20. And now Norton comes out of the box for the United States for the next 60 seconds with a man advantage. With the USA chant filling McNichols Arena. Weird carom off the boards. McDonald tries to get it to Steve Leach. He can't gain possession of it. And out it comes and picked up at center ice by Nikon Anderson and swept away by Brian Leach. Great play to Young. Up to center ice and sent back in by the Swedes. Time left on the penalty, 28 seconds remaining in this power play. U.S. having trouble getting grouped as Young now shoots it in around the boards. Leach keeps it in from the point. Over to Steve Leach. No relation, not even spelled the same way, Brian and Steve. Busco scraps for it. Lane McDonald to Steve Leach, and he loses possession, and the Swedes are able to clear it. So they're doing a good job killing the penalty, which they have effectively done because the teams are now at equal strength.
They certainly don't sit back. They challenge the man with the puck, and it doesn't matter what area of the ice it is. You see them kill penalties. There's an offside pass.
Look good, but illegal. And we'll be right back after this message.
You know, when you're in business, you just have to be on time, all the time. That's why I call 976-WAKE. For just $2 a call on any touch-tone phone, I call them, and they call me back when and where I tell them to. That's 976-WAKE, whether I need a wake-up call or just a reminder anytime. I call 976-WAKE. It's the new sound of time.
Calls returned anywhere in D.C. and Maryland.
Here's Mikhail Anderson. Well, killing a penalty working on Brian Leach, and Brian Leach comes across and plays it perfectly and controls the puck. Mikhail Anderson there, you see him, number 12, calls himself the Swedish Gretzky. He has a great sense of humor, enjoys the game, and if he happens to score a goal, he likes to do something rather crazy after he scores it. Who knows what it is? He doesn't even know.
He could probably have a chance to do his thing on a given night in front of the real Gretzky. So Wayne will have a chance to take in at least one or two of the nights of action at the Olympics. Not in uniform, though.
I would think not. I'd love to see it.
This is Miller in to get it. He centers it for Janney. Loose in front. Snuggerud couldn't get the shot away. And back it comes. Weinrich knocks it down with his body. And Miller tries to leave it for Weinrich, who scraps with Laviolette and Anderson, and the loose puck comes out. Sweden trying to circle and jam it in is Ulf Sandstrom, but he hits the side of the net. And finally, the puck is tied up and a stoppage of play with 10-12 to play in the period.
Some pretty good checking in the USA zone by Miller. Kevin Miller, who has a brother playing for the Washington Capitals. Kelly Miller, another brother, Kip, who belongs to the Quebec Nordiques. Kevin's had problems with ribs, Al. He's wearing a flak jacket. He had broken 2 ribs, and they say he's healthy enough to play. He's trying to play probably with some discomfort. The flak jacket, of course, is sized perfectly to fit the hockey player. Hopefully he'll be able to get through it.
And the United States will now make a goalie change here, with Terreri coming in at just about the exact halfway point in the game. 10-12 to play in the second period. And so there is Chris Terreri, who comes in to spell Richter. And we'll take 5 seconds for station identification on this, the Freedom Sports Network. So Terreri now in the nets with the team skating at equal strength. Sweden on top 2-0. 10:04 to play second period.
Sweden had outshot Team USA 19-12, so Richter with 17 saves, and Richter actually played pretty well.
And again, Dave Peterson not yet naming his goalie for Saturday night. Donatelli over to Stevens, but it wouldn't stay down for him, and it's cleared away by Sweden.
Now we will see a different style. Richter, a stand-up goaltender. Terreri, more of an acrobatic style player. As the teams get their sticks up a little bit. That's Kevin Stevens along with Eldebrink. Kevin Stevens, a big boy. He goes at 6'3", 215 pounds. He's played a lot of left wing for Team USA, but after the Olympics, look for him to play right wing with Mario Lemieux in Pittsburgh, and that should be something to see.
Once again, a reminder, the number is 800-592-6000 if you'd like to contribute to the furtherance of amateur hockey in the United States through AHOUS, the Amateur Hockey Association of the United States. 1-800-592-6000. Face-off near center ice with 9:38 to play in the second period. So Richter went halfway. Gave up 2 goals, and now Terreri the rest of the way as Team USA gets ready to depart to Calgary.
Like a flop, huh?
Gosselin back as Terreri shovels it along the boards, and it's kept in by Sweden. Centering pass, but behind Pettersson. Back out to the point and not kept in. Came back out, and so we'll have an offside. And we have 9:12 to play in the period in Denver.
Dianetics by L. Ron Hubbard. Buy your copy at B. Dalton's, Walden Books, or wherever paperbacks are sold. A fresh look at today's problems.
The United States against Sweden, final game for Team USA prior to the opening of Olympic competition Saturday when they'll meet Austria at the Saddle Dome in Calgary. Sweden on top 2-0. 2 nights ago, the United States beat Sweden 9-7 in Colorado Springs. So a game tonight of a completely different sort. Steve Leach battling along with Lane McDonald. And the puck finally extricated and passed back out to center ice.
What we've seen here, as opposed to Saturday, is some fine goaltending to this point. Lindbergh has been very sharp for the Swedes. Richter was strong, and Terrari, I understand, finished well in that game in Colorado Springs. As you look at Scott Fusco. Now, Scott Fusco and Corey Millen both played in the '84 Olympics. Millen is not dressed for this game, but will play in the Olympics. Mike, what's going on?
Yeah, Alan J.D., remember today when we talked with the Swedish coach, we asked him who he was impressed with, and he mentioned Brian Leach, as everyone seems to do, but he also mentioned that he was very impressed with Chris Terrari and the way he played in that final part of that first game.
Terrari the other night gave up 4 goals in the second period after he came in for Richter, but then he was able to shut Sweden out in the third period, and the American team came from behind to win it 9-7.
Very tough thing to do in sport is be a goaltender and come off the bench and have to go in cold.
Miller up ahead for Janney and broken up nicely by Shielstrom, and offside is the call.
Chris Terrari belongs to the New Jersey Devils of the National Hockey League. They too enjoy the rights of Sean Burke, the fine Canadian goaltender. There's some pretty good talent as far as goaltenders go. Now, Terrari, he played his college hockey in Providence, played in Maine of the American Hockey League, and then spent a little time with New Jersey. And it has to be quite a challenge mentally for Terrari and for Richter to wonder, will I start the Olympics? And Dave Peterson said he may announce Saturday, may tell the goaltenders themselves Saturday.
It wouldn't be unprecedented, but it's not quite what he had planned, because a month ago he was saying he wanted to settle on a #1 goaltender well prior to the start of the games, but that in fact has not been the case. Brian Leach passes up ahead to Clark Donatelli, and all the way down into the Swedish zone, where the first man to touch it is Eldebrink, and thus will have a face-off out in front of Terrari. Time remaining in the second period, 7 minutes and 49 seconds. The Swedes with a goal in each of the first 2 periods, on top by a score of 2-0.
There you can see the size of the Olympic ice surfaces, which they will be in Calgary. They will play in 2 different arenas in Calgary. The standard size of a North American arena is 15 feet, not quite as wide as the Olympic width. And the Boston Garden, where you see more hitting in one hockey game, is the smallest, maybe in North America.
Face-off in the U.S. end. Yell, number 14, scrapping for it in the corner is Sandstrom, whose shot is well wide, kicked in and kept in by Samuelson. Up ahead to Donatelli off the carom.
Both clubs with some solid hits. Both teams, Goslin taking some and giving some. The Swedish club, Al, looks like they enjoy playing along the boards.
Tonight they have. Up ahead to center ice to Eldebrink. This pass to Samuelson. Nice pass in front back to Eldebrink. And the save caroms wide. Back comes Donatelli in on the left wing. Donatelli leaves it from Leach. His shot slides through the crease. Backhander by Jones.
Leach made that little move, and that made the goaltender drop to his knees, but he missed the net.
Cleared by Eldebrink. Back to the point to Steve Leach, and the save by Lindmark. As the action really heats up in more ways than one.
Well, you saw the hitting over the last 4 or 5 minutes, and tempers start to flare. Leach moved in on the goaltender. Lindmark delayed his shot, and Lindmark, the goaltender, then dropped, but Leach put the shot wide. Prior to that, the Swedish club, with a long cross-ice pass right near center ice, set up a shot, and Terrari made his first save. Or at least had the shot towards him. It was blocked. Here the official calming things down. Both teams will get penalties.
Mark Rudolph is going to send Eldebrink into the penalty box for 2 minutes. And Bourbeau, Alan Bourbeau for the United States.
I will ask, okay?
Watch this long ice pass. This is called the strong side of the ice where the puck is. He moves it to the weak side of the ice, right across. Boom, there's that long pass. See how wide open he is? Now they can set up some sort of a goal-scoring chance. And the puck may have been stopped by one of the players. If not, Terrari made the save. Now, you'll see Terrari with some action right in front. The same play. Look at him read the play through all the action. And the puck did not go in. With that save, the American team went down to the other end of the ice and made a play. You will see right here the long shot by Leach. It drops. And the goaltender had no problems with vision. He moved out and made the save. And Bourbeau had his head rubbed a little bit to say hello to the Swedish defenseman.
He was an innocent victim at the outset, but they both wind up in the penalty box. And in addition, there's another penalty to Brian Leach of Team USA. And so, in fact, Sweden with a power play chance here, skating. Well, the teams are skating 4 aside at the moment, even though there are 2 penalties listed up on the board for Team USA. And I think what they've done is mistakenly put Leach's number up there. It's just Bourbeau who goes in. Teams are skating at equal strength.
I would love to see Leach get back on the ice with this open ice surface, with each team having a man in the penalty box, and watch his skating skills take over.
And 1:19 now left in the concurrent penalties.
There's a look at Bourbeau in the penalty box, taking the helmet off to cool off somewhat. Interesting player. Bourbeau and Barrasso, Tom Barrasso, the goaltender in Buffalo, played high school hockey together for 3 straight years in Boxborough, Acton Boxborough High School in Massachusetts. It's been quite a team to have 2 players of that caliber.
Reason for the confusion is they put Brian Leach's number up on the penalty time clock, but he is not in the penalty box as Jani starts back the other way. Jani gets taken down by Thomas Eriksson. And now it's Norton, whose centering pass is deflected to the near side and brought back out by Sweden. Brown gets it over to Norton. He's looking for Jani. Jani can't control the pass. Taken away by Kihlstrom for Sweden. 35 seconds now left in the coincidental minors. Kihlstrom skates all the way in, looks for help, wheels, and the shot saved by Terrari. Norton cross ice and a dangerous pass and momentarily intercepted as the U.S. again regains possession.
Neutral zone, all 4 players for the Swedish club in that neutral zone. They're marking the opposition rather closely. See, they break up the play again in that neutral zone. Pretty good checking between the blue lines by Sweden.
Peter Anderson dragged by Brown. Both penalties are now over. Teams at full strength, loose in front. Johansson couldn't get a stick on it to get the shot away, and it's brought back out to center ice. And now in again with Johansson, getting no help. Taken down nicely by Gosselin to Johansson. Alan Bourbeau, left shot wide to the near side. And a bouncing puck in front. Samuelson kicks it along the boards to try to clear it. Kept in. Snuggerud can't get a shot away. Up now to Hjelm. Hjelm shooting it into the corner with 4 minutes to play in the second period. Sweden on top by a score of 2-0. Scott Fusco now. His pass too far. And Eriksson back to get into the Swedes. He leaves it for Kihlstrom. Up ahead. Intended for Sandstrom. Terrari backhands it along the boards. Kept in, and now along the far side, it's McDonald coming up with it. To Fusco. He gets it back to Lane McDonald, who skates all the way and out in front. The shot by Fusco in the save.
Fusco setting up the man with the speed, and that's Lane McDonald, and he went to the outside and set up the shot by Fusco, but it didn't get through. Nice play by the American club.
And a penalty coming up here on the U.S. A penalty coming up on Team USA. Swedes have a power play when we come back after this message.
Guess who's doing the hosting this week on The Late Show?
No tramps, please.
Michelle Lee turns the tables for a juicy Joan Rivers interview.
Did you save yourself until you got married?
Arsenio Hall gets the truth about Phyllis Diller's marriage.
My goal in life is to be a widow.
And Night Court's Marsha Warfield trades cuts with Don King.
You know you make me blush, don't you?
It's an all-star lineup all week long.
Let's have a good time.
On The Late Show. Weeknights, only on Fox.
No penalty. This collision coming simultaneously with the icing call, as it turns out.
Boom. So two big players bumping. That was an icing call. The face-off back inside the Swedish zone. With that big hitting going on, the fans are starting to get very involved here in Denver. And you see the shots on goal in the second period. 10-4 in favor of Sweden. And a lot of that has to do with good, solid, neutral zone play by that Swedish club.
Overall in the game, the Swedes have outshot the United States 19-12. Crowd getting into it very much so with 3:19 to play in the second period. But the Swedes again win another face-off and bring it into the American end, where Berglund's shot goes in. Berglund through a screen by Weinrich past Terreri.
We mentioned Terreri likes to drop down. He drops down on this shot, but he doesn't pick up where it's coming from as Weinrich skated right in front of him and tried to block it himself. And see the shot, just a good solid low shot. Weinrich caught in no man's land as he was trying to get out from behind the net. You see number 5 move across, and the key to that play was a good low shot, and Terreri drops down, and it's a 3-0 Swedish lead. And Weinrich not having a great night at the office here. He's been on for all 3 of those goals.
So Sweden on top 3-0. Bergqvist getting the goal with 3 minutes now remaining in the second period. Pettersson's shot comes in on Terreri, who makes the save. And back down into the Swedish end. Up to center ice to Tom Eklund. Eklund and Norton scrapping for it along with Jenny. And a whistle for a face-off. We have 2:36 left in the second period in Denver, Colorado.
I'm going to get away. I'm going to go somewhere. Relax. Take it easy, you know? Where do you want to go? Bloomingdale's.
No matter why or when, Northwest can fly you to over 220 cities worldwide.
Get a fully automatic 35mm Kodak camera, free, when you buy 10 rolls or more of Owens Corning's pink fiberglass insulation.
3-0 Sweden. 2:36 remaining in the second period.
Interesting, E.M. Swift, who writes for Sports Illustrated, has done quite an article in their Olympic edition on this Swedish youth hockey style and their squad and for the Olympics and what they've done to prepare and how they won the World Championships. And he mentioned in that article how their coach, Sandlin, set up the neutral zone play. And in this game, Al, we've seen wonderful neutral zone play from the Swedish club.
They lead 3-0. Pressure on here in the closing minutes of the second period. Jim Johansson, cross ice now to Clark Donatelli, who sweeps it back out to center ice. And the Swedes come in offside, so we'll have a face-off coming with 2:04 remaining in the second period. United States on this pre-Olympic tour against colleges and universities, 20 wins without a loss in one tie, against NHL teams in exhibition games 2-2. And against other teams, 2-2 with a mark of 13-8-4 overall against international competition, encompassing that tour against the Soviet selects, several games against Team Canada, and of course these 2 games now against the Swedes.
And they've given most people in the United States a chance to see this club play.
It's Sandstrom nearly stealing it from Brian Leach and unable to get a shot off. Yelm puts it in behind the net. Sandstrom can't get it for Sweden as the U.S. tries to clear it. Young couldn't clear it, and it's kept in by Yelm, who backhands it wide. And now Gosselin gets it up ahead to Jones, and Jones is able to clear the zone. And goes down as well in the process. Now the loose puck taken by Brian Leach. And he has it poke-checked away by Lars Carlson nicely.
The good players like Leach having trouble controlling the puck. That puck was lay flat when he tried to make the move in the offensive zone. And Leach, who has not rushed too much here in the second period, I think is just simply having trouble handling the puck. Now, we mentioned how Lindmark, is 31 years of age. Not many European goaltenders have come to North America and played well. Pelle Lindbergh played great for the Philadelphia Flyers. This club, the Swedish club, averaged 26.7 years of age. That's an older club. And what they're doing is setting up for the World Championships, which will be held next year in Stockholm, Sweden. And then after that series, or after that World Championship series, this team will move aside and have a lot of the younger players move in. But they're an older club. The American club averages around 22.5 years of age, much younger.
1:10 remaining now in the second period. Steve Leach centered it in front, and nobody in a blue shirt was there, so it comes back out to center ice. Lane McDonald tried to get it up ahead to Steve Leach, and it's taken away by Rundqvist. Rundqvist circles, waits for help. Kept in by Rundqvist for Eldebrink, who scored the first goal of the game. He sets up in the slot and tries to get the return pass, which doesn't materialize. And Scott Fusco comes away with it for the U.S. This is Sortigren now. In along the boards, and Terreri leaves it for Laviolette, but out in front to Sortigren, whose shot is high. And Anderson takes it in the face, and that's the reason for the whistle and the stoppage of play here. Mikael Anderson, number 12.
You can see it clipped him below his right eye, and he will be headed to the locker room, I would suspect, for repairs. As the puck caught him.
13.
A solid hockey player.
Yeah, you got a nice one.
Is Mikael Anderson. I mentioned how he likes to overreact when he scores goals. Last year they beat Canada 9-0 in a game. He scored the 7th goal, and he came over to the Canadian bench, dropped down on his knees to celebrate. And you'll see the puck came off of one of his own teammates' sticks. He caught him below the eye. A nice round of applause here as he heads towards the Swedish locker room for repairs.
And so Anderson leaves the ice with 13 seconds to play in the second period, accompanied by the Swedish trainer.
Anders Widerstall, I think is how you say it. I think I had the Anders correct.
Anders. As the second period now comes to an end. The second period, the Swedes do all of the scoring twice to increase their margin to 3-0.
Well, the Swedes are the #1 seed going into the Olympics, and they played a very solid 2 periods to this point. The American club, I think, will try and open it up somewhat for their final period of play coming up before they head to Calgary.
So 20 minutes of pre-Olympic competition remaining for Team USA, but at the end of 2 periods in Denver, and this the 60th and final pre-Olympic confrontation for the American hockey team. It's Sweden 3 and the United States 0.